100 naira ko. Esambaseko.
Good morning, viewers. Welcome to another edition of your favorite morning program, Lagos This Morning. Today being the 14th of June 2023, and we're going to be discussing from political views to entertainment to politics to lifestyle to sport, covering all other discussions like that. But before we set the ball rolling, I'm Olajide Taufik Olamide, and with me here is my wonderful co-host.
Good morning, viewer. You're welcome to Lagos This Morning. Of course, you know how we do it. And I hope you're ready for the smooth ride this morning. I am Gladys Alose.
Yeah, let's take a look at the top stories we have for you this morning quickly. So, federal government to introduce tuition fees in varsities.
On students' loan, we have Tinubu pledges more resources to education.
Yeah, it is time to move swiftly with business of governance. That's coming from President Asiwaju Bola Tinubu.
INEC failures, violence, voter fraud, suppression, March 2023 polls coming from international observers.
And also subsidy removal, deploy measures to address difficulties. Nigerian Bar Association tells Tinubu. Yeah, let's move on to the newspaper front pages we have this morning. Right on the front page of The Punch, governors mourn as 103 die in Kwara boat tragedy. Rescuers recover over 50 corpses, 50 passengers, children missing as well.
Classified documents, Trump aide arrested, face 37 counts.
On 10th National Assembly, Tinubu's candidate floors APC rebels. Akpabio leads Senate as Abbas beats Wase. Jaji emerges House Assembly. Yari embraces Akpabio after defeat as National Assembly won't be independent. Presidency and picked leaders that's coming from NNPP and Labour Party.
Over 25,000 trafficked Nigerian women, girls trapped in Mali coming from NAPTI.
Fans crash website as Guinness World Record confirms Hilda Bass's cooking record.
Aye Datiwa, am I correct? Okay, steps in as Akeredolu goes on medical leave.
Moving on to the next front page, we have sports. We have Punch Sports Extra, and right there we have Sierra Leone versus Nigeria. Osimhen Osai Samuel arrive camp as Eagles depart for Liberia on Saturday.
Okay, still on the Punch Sports Extra, there is this advice here: don't be like Nigerian politicians. Fans urge long-serving Eagles captain Ahmed Musa to quit Eagles ahead AFCON qualify.
Guinea-Bissau hope to topple Eagles as Leon Stars vow to beat Nigeria.
And Osimhen agents reject Napoli contract extension.
As Arsenal closing in on Declan Rice signing, and also Silva wants City exits.
That's interesting. Moving on to the next, we'll be looking at Daily Trust. And on the front page of the Daily Trust newspaper, we have 103 wedding guests die in Kwara boat mishap. Father, 4 children among victims.
On student loan, federal government to introduce tuition fees in varsities. Many students will leave school. That's coming from ASU. Nothing to celebrate in new law. That's coming from The Dawn. I will improve investment in education, President Tinubu, and we will speak on new law today. That's the Ministry of Education.
IGP retired MD Abubakar for renewed hope agenda.
On National Assembly leadership, how last-minute intrigues worked for Akpabio and Abbas. Barau Kalu emerged deputy unopposed. Factors that gave Yari 46 votes. Open ballot edge Wase Jaji out.
Moving on to the next newspaper front page.
We have The Guardian. Tinubu's men lead 10th National Assembly. Vow not to be rubber stamp.
Education curriculum, Nigeria needs 4 basic schools.
Nigeria's production hits 1.2 million barrels per day as Total announces oil discovery.
Blood shortage bites harder with only 25% of transfusion demand met yearly.
Guinness World Record certifies Oyabasi as 4-year drum support for Ekiti chef Damilola Adeparusi.
Trump enters not guilty plea in classified document case.
Akeredolu transmits power to deputy governor.
Let's take a look at the Vanguard.
Yes, on the front page of the Vanguard this morning, we have some Nigerian returnees from Libya came without kidneys and bowels. That's coming from NAPTIP.
And NIN enrollment rises 363.5% to 27.1% in 3 years.
Yeah. Nigeria's oil output rises 15.6% to 1.3 million barrels per day.
Okay, our plan for real wage, human labor rights, others coming from the federal government.
Atiku to tribunal summon INEC boss as witness.
On 10th Nance, how Akpabio Abbas flawed opponent. Nigerians want us to lift their economic burden. Tinubu tells Akpabio and Abbas. Asks Nance to work with him to deliver democracy dividends. Akpabio pulls 63 votes to beat Iyari for the seat to emerge Senate president. Extends olive branch to Yari and others. Abbas pulls 353 votes to Trans Wase 3, Jaji 3 for reps speakership. Please.
Yeah, 359 lawmakers elect take oath of office. Barau Kalu emerged unopposed as deputy senate president and deputy speaker. I shall be just, fair, guided by constitution. That's coming from Abbas. And also Benue government imposes curfew as communal crisis claims 3 lives into local government areas.
Governors ignorance of minimum wage coming from NLC.
Revenue from value-added tax CIT falls by 18% to 1.18 trillion naira.
On the sporting scene, we have Oshimen arrives, 22 players now in camp.
As father and 4 children, 95 others die in Kwara boat mishap.
Moving on
to the Nation, the front page of the Nation this morning, we have Jonathan visits Tinubu. 103 die, 70 missing in Kwara boat accident as Akeredolu on medical leave.
Financial markets rebound on Emefiele's suspension. Naira firms up, equities make 1.215 trillion naira gain. Wow.
President, poverty should not stop any child from getting tertiary education.
Okay, I want to be sure we are reading from the same place.
Yes. Right here.
Ex-Akwa Ibom State Governor defeats Yari by 63 to 46 votes. Cardinal Rep triumphs by 353 to 33 over Wasi and Jaji.
Let's work for our people. Tinubu urges National Assembly leaders.
Okay.
Moving on quickly.
Let's take a look at Daily Independent newspaper. On the front page, we have Akpabio asks senators to put national interest first at all times. Outlines focus area, calls for unity of vision with Tinubu. Abbas promises to lead a house that all will be proud of. Vows he won't be a rubber stamp house of rep speaker.
It is time to move swiftly with business of governance, Tinubu says. Congratulates Akpabio, Abbas, Barau, Kalu for emerging National Assembly leaders.
INEC chair to testify for Atiku in petition against Tinubu tomorrow.
Akeredolu transmits power to deputy, heads abroad for treatment.
As court orders arrest of police IG, 4th secretary. INEC
failures, violence, voter fraud, suppression, March 2023 polls, international observers.
Moving on to the next newspaper front page this morning, we'll be looking at Daily Sun.
Yes, on the front page of Daily Sun, 103Q as boat capsizes in Kwara, 15 bodies recovered, Governor's months.
On Nance, APC zoning prevails as Akpabio Abbas win. Tinubu advises Yari Carlo orders not to relent in service to constituents, Nigerians. We will stand with citizens, not executives, Senate President and Speaker.
Obi Labour Party tenders IREV report from Adamawa Rivers, and 3 others, as Atiku wants INEC chairman summoned to testify in petition against President Tinubu.
As Biafra, IPOB insists on the referendum.
Ex-US President Donald Trump arrested, faces trial. And on the last one, we have Nigerian Tribune. Atiku subpoenas INEC chairman as Obi tenders 188 additional exhibit against Tinubu's election.
Both accidents claims 103 lives in Kwara State.
Factors behind Akpabio Abbas victory as Senate President. Speaker, I will be transparent with National Assembly leadership. That's coming from Tinubu. Our lack of consensus on Deputy Speaker slot destabilized G6 aspirant. We will stand against any executive move not in public interest. That's coming from Abbas.
Bo Kachua says why Tinubu must fundamentally cleanse the system, coming from Abakoba.
Student loan law. Tinubu pledges more resources to education as Nance visits.
NNPCL denies giving Dangote refinery license for fuel import.
Census will expire if not done this year. That's coming from NPC.
As Guinness World Record confirms Hilda Bassi's record for longest cooking marathon.
And also Akeredolu goes on medical leave and over to his deputy.
And that's all for the newspaper front pages this morning. We would like to go on a short break. On our return, we'll take the stories we have one after the other. Please don't go away. Stay tuned.
Yeah.
100 Nereko. Estambaseko.
Alright guys, welcome back to the program Lagos this morning. And now we'll be delving into the discussions of the day, and also the phone lines will be open for you to drop your comments and also make your contributions. If you're watching us right now, you can hit on the like button. The phone lines is the phone number will be dropped in the comment section for you to be able to call us, and also we'll have just 3 minutes for each caller in order to allow other people to air their opinions as well. And also for the comments as well, would appreciate to make comments being friendly for the YouTube guidelines and policies. All right, let's go straight into the top stories. So federal government to introduce tuition fees in varsities. Let's take a look at a little bit of the report. The bill, which is now an act of parliament, was signed on Monday, a development widely celebrated in many quarters without understanding the implications of the new law for the millions of prospective students who rely on tuition-free higher institutions of learning to acquire knowledge. Educationists and other stakeholders said this would have wider implications. In Nigeria, as we all know, tuition, which runs into hundreds of thousands of naira or even millions of naira in private universities, is free in government as both national and state levels. So now they've removed the subsidy for education when it comes to federal schools and also state schools as well now. So we'll be seeing nothing less than 100,000. So now this new law, it is coming with both the positive package and the negative package. So I think there should be a lot of sensitization and also communication from the Ministry of Education to the Nigerian people, because when we saw that report day before yesterday that there would be loans for student loans, many people were jubilating, but now it seems we are getting to know so many things in that contains that bill that was being signed by the president. So we think now that the subsidy is being removed from the federal government, federal universities and state universities, the average student out there, that's going to those schools with the subsidized fees, still struggling to pay those ones, if you now tell them to pay higher than that, I think it will be of more harm than good to those ones. It is good for those that are below the poverty line, but for those that are above, it is something else for them. It is something else.
Now, the question I really want to ask is, because I don't think I really understand the whole this thing. Why is the government removing subsidy in all the sectors now? I thought they were only meant to remove subsidy on fuel.
Well, the thing is that this bill that was being signed into law, that gives loans to students, automatically, what they didn't tell us is that they've removed subsidy. They were subsidizing some part of the education before. The federal university, if you go to Unilag now, they are not paying much in Unilag, unlike other schools like that, whereby maybe I think if you are in 300, 400 level, you are paying less than 50,000 naira. So right now, if this thing is being implemented or being executed or something, they will be paying more than that. They would surely be paying more than that. So right now, and schools, federal schools now, and they now have their own autonomy, so they can decide how much you would be paying as a student, not a body coming together to dictate for them. They would be the one they have total autonomy over the schools now. So I think to a very large extent, it will be of harm to those present students that have, okay, let's say I'm in the 100 level now, I've been paying subsidized rates, then 200 level they ask me to pay 100,000 or 120k. How do you want me to get that? Do I now go back to get the loan?
That's where you now go back to get the loan. The loan that there is no guarantee of payment, of repayments.
And ASU has actually said that many students will leave school if it is being done that way. Many would not be able to. Because even right now, I'm still in one of the alumni group chats whereby some of these school leaders, this what's it called, student union body, they are soliciting for support for some of our students. And now if this thing comes into play, what do you think could happen? We now start soliciting for more support. So to some extent, we need more communication. We need to break down this entire bill. Let Nigeria, let the common man, like, put it in a layman's understanding. When you say you are giving loans to students, people will be happy. But aside that, what are those hidden charges, hidden fees that would be paid? What are those hidden extra things that is being done, that's being put inside that bill? I think we should be having more from the Ministry of Education, in the coming days, probably weeks or months. We should be having a lot from them. In a country whereby 133 million people are living below the poverty line, and you want to bring this kind of thing, it is good for those people that are living below the line. But what about those that are living above? So if you're helping those that are living below and you are charging more on those that are living above, those that are living above will actually cry now. I see something yesterday that it shouldn't be restricted to only those people. Even if you say you're giving 100% to those below the poverty line,
I don't
those
know,
above should not be. I giving something as well.
I don't really think that this is that necessary, because if you're removing if you're removing subsidy from education, and then you are introducing loan to students who does not have an assurance of immediate employment, once they leave the higher institution, of course the federal government, you don't there is no guarantee that you're going to get this loan back, the repayment. There's no guarantee that is going to come immediately, or like the 2 years that is being stipulated for them to pay back and all. So why not leave the tuition fees the way it is subsidized? Because it's actually like that way. Just leave it that way, then create employment opportunities for these students as they're coming out from school. They're getting immediate employment. I don't think they need this loan, because they've been seeing themselves through school or this one. They can also manage. Just give them job as soon as they are done. Everybody will be happy.
Yes.
If you are giving them loan and there is no job for them when they come out, and then you're removing subsidy from universities, from education, that's going to be, they take loan to pay school fees.
Then they come out of school.
Without a job. How do you think they are going to feel?
How are they even going to fend for themselves?
At the end of the day, we have more educated touts out there. Of course, that's what is going to happen. You see more people who knows how to speak English, they did not
have anything in their pocket.
But there's nothing in their pockets. At the end of the day, you are pushing them to do things that I've seen some people who are in the streets, like you barely believe that they actually pass through the 4 walls of high institution because of what life in Nigeria have pushed them to. you know. So I don't really think that that's the best idea, in my own opinion.
Yeah.
I don't think that's the best idea. If you're removing subsidy from education and then granting loans and students access to loan, and then there is no guarantee of employment after school. Of course, someone said yesterday, you know, if you don't, must you wait for you to get employed? You know, you have to establish something for yourself, with which money as well. You know, when the money is not there, money no they be say no they there.
Yes,
so you cannot do magic. So allow them, leave the subsidy in education, leave it. Subsidize the school fees. There's nothing there. Then create employment for these people. Once they are done, they are getting employed. Then everybody will be happy. Do you know how it feels like you finish school, you get employment immediately? There's no joy that passes.
Yeah.
It's always like, unlike when you finish school, you start. Oh my goodness! When I came to Lagos, I won't lie to you. I trekked from, let me not mention the place, down to Okwepia Lane. My leg would be hurting looking for a job. Like, serious, it wasn't funny for me. Then I remember when my dad told me, don't go to Lagos. I insisted I must go to there are opportunities in Lagos. I didn't know the sound of bitter cola is not the taste.
It's not the taste at all.
For real.
It's not the taste. So even if this move by the federal government is actually okay, but there are still some things that needs to be put in place for this move to work effectively. We need jobs out there. We need more people, because we are churning out millions and millions of students every year. Even those that are schooled in neighboring states, like neighboring countries like Ghana, Benin Republic, they come back here after service. What do they do? That's someone who
it will shock you to know that most of these when they say girls are doing hookup, but some of these girls that are into hookup are graduates.
Of course.
It's because they didn't see job. You see an average Nigerian who went to school and studied medicine coming out to become a content creator, dancing on the streets. Like, I don't know how we got here. No, if let's say you empower doctors, like you're finishing school, you're getting this help from federal government, whereby you can actually establish one thing if you can, or you work a little while, then you get this help and establish something for yourself. You can employ others.
Yes.
By that, we are helping. We are creating an avenue whereby a graduate to finish school, you get a job, whether from the federal government or from a private sector.
Yes,
you know, but this
yes.
this loan that the federal government is, I don't think is the best.
Even if they're giving loan to those below the poverty line, they shouldn't remove the subsidy for those that are above the poverty line. They shouldn't remove, because you would make those ones, as we are bringing in the ones that are below, those ones that are above would be leaving the system. Because I know some people then that actually dropped out, even with the subsidized rates. We were paying how much then? Less than 60,000 naira. During my ND days, I was paying less than, I think 63,000 naira also, and some were paying 95,000 naira. Even with the subsidized rates.
I didn't pay up to 40,000 in school.
You see.
I didn't pay up to 40,000.
And as at then, some people were dropping out because they couldn't pay these fees. So if you remove the subsidies from this thing, you have more people dropping out above the poverty line. So I think they shouldn't remove it at all. Just leave it that way. Provide employment, empower those people, give loans to those graduates, not those with ideas only, because ideas is 50-50 thing. It can fail. But those that have started their businesses already, so they just need these loans to push it further or expand the business. Then also just for them to be able to employ other people.
Like what you said, those intelligent Nigerians who are into the tech industry, empower these ones. Imagine someone goes to school and studies a course like mechanical engineering,
exactly,
and then you come and you only know the theoretical aspect of what you studied. There's no practical, but someone in the tech sector can employ you, and then you teach them what they don't know, and then you get what they know that you don't know from them. It's that simple. But then, okay, let's take a look at some of the feedbacks that we have here from our viewers this morning. Gideon says, good morning everyone. Good morning, Gideon. Thank you for watching our program this morning. Tai Wofi, am I don't even correct? Students' loan is a scam. It is not okay. Folarin Osifeso, please Flip TV, where is Christian Chuku in the morning bystander? Christian Chuku will be available very soon. I know you miss him a lot. We miss him too, but you'll be available very soon. Nigeria, Adams did not fall for his scam. Sorry. For this.
Adams did not fall for this.
Okay, even in England, Staton is a trap.
I don't understand that.
It's a death trap. Well, you don't understand that, though. If you like, complain from now to tomorrow. They will still do what is in their mind.
Yes, yes, yes. Well, I don't think it's really about complaining or something, but it's just like we are giving our own quota, our own ideas and opinions out there, because when it comes to governance, we have to look at both sides, not to make some people feel deprived while you're trying to make others benefit. Just let everybody benefit. It should be, I think it's trying to do a kind of equity stuff, not equality, because if we are talking about equality, you have to give the same thing to everybody, but now is trying to balance things up. If these people don't have any, let's give them more than those that have much with them. So now if you're subsidizing one, don't remove from the other one, I beg. Just try and let us put more industries out there. Let people gain employment immediately after school. Let people be employed. Even if there are no industries like that, we have I have some colleagues that are running businesses, that have started their businesses even before they graduated. Even me personally, if I get an opportunity to get a loan like this, I will set up my business and continue. But you know, after graduating, after NYSC and stuff, when you feel like, okay, I'll be able to save some part of my allowance. Until you get there, we used to think like, okay, it's 33k, you save so amount, but when you start saving, you collect your allowance today, by the next 5 days you don't even know how you spent it. It's gone, because you have bills that you're paying. Everything is just moving swiftly. So I think there should be loans for graduates, those that have businesses with them. Those that have business, there should be loans for them to just, you know, set up their business, employ others, and those who study, those who are in the technical field, not in the theoretical schools like the university, polytechnic. Those ones, they have ready-made skills. Just imagine someone learned mechanical engineering for 5 solid years, and the other person learned it in the classroom. There are some things you can't teach in the classroom, just like teaching entrepreneurship. Back then, when they used to teach us entrepreneurship in school, because I was already in my business line then, even before I even get admission, I used to just laugh like, this person teaching entrepreneurship, which business do this person have? You're teaching entrepreneurship from notebook, from exercise book, from textbook. It's not possible.
It's a practical thing.
It's a practical thing. But those that are in the technical field, those that are in those technical schools, they've studied this thing, they've practicalized it, they know what is working. It's not about putting theories in your head. How do we practicalize it in the Nigerian way, in the Nigerian setting? Because there would always be factors. Some of these theories were being propounded by Italians, by Americans, due to their environment and factors and how they think. But I'll bring it down to the Nigerian context. It will not be able to work there. So I think to some extent we need loans too for graduates. There should be loans, and also for those who are in the technical field as well. So if you're subsidizing some, don't remove subsidy from one, I beg. That's just my opinion. Let's take a look at some of the
let's take a look at some of the feedbacks that we have here. Adego Wani says the federal government doesn't have the capacity to create the amount of jobs you clamor for. Entrepreneurs do create jobs.
Exactly.
Okay, Damien Osas, good morning guys. I feel on the long run we will see how it pays with this loan law. I'm not sure what's behind this motive, but with the huge unemployment, it would be a scandal and probably aid to the current nation current debt. Is all bent on the fine print of this laws and putting stuff in place of this law. Business loans for active firm owners should be what's in vogue, and also implementing employing people. Very important. Okay, giving stipends to firm who aid in reducing the current unemployment. Maybe I'm wrong, but the current law will showcase how worse the future is on the long run. I kind of accept Ola's view. Yeah, from yesterday, I think. Yeah. Okay, Mr. Nee, where is the empowerment to start entrepreneurship with the government's monopolies everything?
Well, yeah, that's empowerment. Someone who you see, that's why when we're growing up, there's this, would I say, way they look at the technical schools, that it is those who don't, their brain are not really functioning, they don't know how to read like that or something, that goes to technical school. But as time moved on, I was like, but these people in the technical school, they are even far better, because you can just graduate today and you are useful directly. You can just go into anything and you would be working 100%.
You even employ those
that learned it from 4 walls of one class or something. So I think these people, they should, number one, be employed. And also there's someone talking about empowerment through entrepreneurship. Yes, empowerment. We can't just keep on financing education, putting money there and the likes. So even the education, what is the quality of the education? Now they say some people graduate, they are unemployable. What is the quality? Is it the global standard?
It's actually very, very funny, because when you're talking about investing in education and all that, what is the quality of the education? Because I remember those days during my school days. As a matter of fact, when I was writing my final exam, you know, the questions were not new. They were past questions. Questions that people have already, like, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, even 2 years ago. You just because you already know how it works. You go and like read everything the way it is, then you enter exam hall just to write, just to pass and come out. That's just it. So there is no the education is not how will I put it? The quality of education is not quality enough.
Yeah,
it's
very low.
It's very low. So like Mr. Dan said here, he said youth empowerment is actually very, very important.
Very important.
You empower these entrepreneurs. You know, he always says some kind of things that sometimes I don't really understand. He said that the federal government doesn't have the capacity to create the amount of jobs you clamor for. Nobody is actually clamoring for job, but we are just asking that the right thing be done, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, you empower these entrepreneurs so that they can be able to employ more people.
Yeah.
You know, that will create employment that the federal government does not have the capacity to do directly.
Now, even the education I'm talking about, what brings about education? First is research. If you don't do anything about research, the education is next to nothing, because you can't keep on importing someone else's thinking and fixing it into the head, into the minds of your own people. You have to make research about your space. What do you need to grow that space? That is what you put in the books. Then impart this knowledge into your people. How much are we spending on research? How much are we budgeting on research every year? Every time they bring out budget, how much? See, if we don't research, this is why we import everything we know today, everything in those books, we import them. Even to what we eat, what we use on a daily basis. How many is the African way? How many things are we teaching in the schools that are Nigerian? How many? Even our language, we are throwing it away. We are not calling it vernacular. Is it not true? It is true. So now, if we are not spending money on research, so what kind of education are we putting there? If you ask someone who graduated 5 years, 10 years ago, you will still be seeing some of these questions replicating itself. Even our history is gone. So what are we talking about? We don't even know who we really are. We are not fully African and we are not white. And we are just putting these two things together. So we should be, you see, if we have research, if we invest so much in research, Nigeria would go far more than this. Okay, let's look at our health sector. Most of all the drugs we are using, how many are we even producing? And we have medical students. So what are we really teaching those people? Is it what we saw in the textbooks of the UK or US or white people there, or is it the African way? There's no way we can mix these two. They are thinking like that because they are Americans. They will they'll produce their textbooks according to their thinking there, according to their space, according to how their lifestyle is. How many are we having here in Nigeria? So we should this thing is about research. There is no functioning and economy that doesn't have a lot of industries with them. So we can't keep on creating just fix people in government houses and stuff. Partner with the foreign sector.
And if you're watching now, most people are sorry to pick on this though, but most people, particularly our youth, it's as if we're not even thinking out straight. Like we're not thinking things out for ourselves. We're only like pushing to get into the seat of power. Everybody is trying so hard to get themselves attached to those in government. What about you as a person trying to like figure things out for yourself, and be how will I put it now? And be useful to society for your own self, not really not pushing towards the government. I'm not saying it's bad, but I think that's what most people are doing these days, trying to attach themselves to those people in the seat of power, probably to get favor or something from them. I think we as youth that we are, since the government we feel that it's not really doing enough. We should also try to stand up for ourselves as well. And as a matter of fact, youth empowerment or empowering young graduates who we know that have this creativity in them is actually very, very, very important, because you can't overlook them and then start granting loans to students who does not even have who does not have the how will I put this now, where there is no guarantee that they will get a job or get something that they will do to help them to repay these loans in less than 2 years that has been stipulated by the government.
Mr. Ani Yadigun, I can see his comment, said Empower was an empowerment mechanism. Yes, NESAL was another one, though poorly managed. During GEJ, there was You Win, an empowerment program. Yes, beautiful programs. Now we said they were poorly managed. If we have programs that have been poorly managed, then what is the essence of that program? You see, I've not been to the Western, world before, but I have people, they have uncles there who will tell you that this place, they have a functioning environment. See, if the environment is okay, anything would grow. It's just like when you've tilled your farmland, your soil, it is rich. You've enriched it. Anything you plant there would grow. But if your soil is not okay, you would only try to plant things there. It would either have stunted growth or it will not grow at all. So what are we looking at? We are seeing so many of these things having stunted growth. So if the environment is conducive for the people should be able to, you see, there should be support from the government, from investors, from entrepreneurs, so many things. We have students with beautiful ideas. I was seeing there's one particular guy in Ekiti or Ondo State who generated electricity out of rock. Nobody has found the guy now to even say, okay, can we research more on how to generate electricity? We have so many rocks. We have Olumo rock, we have Zuma rock, we have a lot of rocks in Nigeria here.
It's just very fun.
Research, we need to do more on research.
Here to replace the white people. So the board that we used today was being it was someone's initiative. It was someone's idea. We have a lot of people. We have a lot of our own here. Our people here who are very, very creative, but it's just quite unfortunate that there is no empowerment for them.
Exactly.
We're not even trying to okay, this person that can do this. That means if this person is being empowered, he can do much more. Okay, let's see what you have to offer. Let's see how we can make this thing become something very, very beneficial to everybody. But then we are not paying attention to these things. We are just paying attention to things I don't think that will actually benefit an average Nigerian.
I think according to what Mr. Damian says, he said an average Nigerian is selfish. I think that's what that's a major problem. Because when we are looking up to the government, we expect them to bring up a program whereby it would be like direct beneficiaries without really doing much. Okay, just like say, okay, someone who is organizing or who is part of the program, then you just find it. There was a time whereby they said the band or someone was part of a kind of scam with Empower, and there would have been so many people doing this.
About Empower. Do you know how many times I try registering with Empower? It's just fun. I don't want to stress on that actually, but please go ahead.
Yes. So that kind of stuff, that's the way we think. Instead of starting a business, then go out there and tell them, give me loan. I don't need your program or anything. I have my personal idea. Like this, if they ask me, okay, would you go into this program, or I have my idea, don't worry, just give me money and let's strike a deal. Probably next 2-3 years I'll return it, no problem. Because I know for sure I've been in their line for over 10-15 years, even before I even gain admission or anything at all. So I know how it works there. So if I just get probably money, 5 million, 10 million, even 5 million is too small, just give me 10-15 million, I'll put it into the business. Then next 2-3 years I'll pay you your money back. So we should be thinking that way, whereby let's say I get that kind of money now, I'll be able to employ more people, I'll be able to just come and work with me. How much do you want to collect? You collect your money, then I have more workers with me. Then probably next 5-10 years you will know about the business too. You go and start your own. You employ more people, then we start employing ourselves and we start growing further. Not like just looking up to someone in power because one of your uncles is there and just let me be your special advisor to special advisor to special advisor to one kind of thing. So if we think like that, collectively,
let me quickly chip something in. I'm an Igbo girl. There's this thing they usually say about Igbo people sometimes. Before now, like most Igbo people or some Igbo people, not all Igbo people, right? A particular state in Igbo land, they hardly go to school like that. They just believe so much in business.
Of course.
So and sometimes we feel that these people, they are just wasting their time. But look at them. They are most of them are one of the richest people that we have in Nigeria. If you count the rich people, you must count people from that part of Igbo land as the rich people we have in this country. Okay, what do they usually do? A young child finishes probably secondary school. The father sends him to this person, go and learn what this person will teach you what he is doing. the line of business or work he's doing, and then you serve that person for a good number of years. When you're done, they will settle you. You go and establish your own. So looking at that, if you can actually do that, you understand, it will help. Look at, like, most of these people, they are self-employed. They don't need the aid of the, as in, they don't need the federal government.
So now imagine they have support of the federal government. They will grow bigger.
Even employ more people who will come and stay with them for a while, know what they do. If they have interest in establishing this, they will. By so doing, the government or the society is already expanding, and we are even growing, and then this debt whatever will actually minimize.
Yes,
in my own opinion. I don't know, someone will have a contrary opinion to what I just said.
Actually, you said some people, in that part, they don't really buy into the idea of going to school and stuff. See, there is no school that supersedes that kind of life. But you know that what they did was they started preaching education too much. I mean, education to look like the answer that one is formal education. See, when it comes to someone running a business, there is no textbook that can teach an ordinary person who has not been into business, that can teach that person that same knowledge. Because this person who has been into this business line for 10-15 years, you've experienced the life. You've known how it works in that space and the environment and the people there. So which textbook? Who will write the textbook? Unless that same person who has been in that industry would write that particular textbook. And once you take that textbook into another environment, it might not work. It might not work there. So that's why I'm talking about research. And also this thing of, okay, you go to school and, okay, now let's say 2 people. You send this person to school for 7 years, send this other person to a particular would I say to be under someone, in a particular line business, just doing this thing there. If this person graduates and this other person graduates, who do you think would be more useful to the society?
Of course, the one that went to serve someone. It's that simple.
This one graduate and start looking for a job. This one has been here for 7 years and is already employing people. So both ways is just like, both ways leads to money, but this place here is more practical and it employs more people. It's just like having the formal knowledge, but just join it with the business, because at the end of it, what do we want? If it's not making money, then Nigeria will be in debt. Exactly, that's just it. So I think these people need more loans. I'm not saying we shouldn't give loans to those that are below the poverty line. Beautiful, it's a very beautiful idea. During Tinubu's era, there was free education in Lagos State. We just barely PTA fee, and also when it comes to the junior WAEC, senior WAEC, I think we just pay stipend. We don't really pay for the WAEC per se. So it's a very good idea, a very good one. But to curb the 33% rate, or is it 30 or 33% rate of unemployment, we need to make people work with their hand. Not only let's just start writing or putting something or being a professor or something. How much are professors earning? Some people who own shops are earning more than professors. Of course. Some of them. So
sometimes it's just the title that make it look like it's one big thing. Let's take a look at this comments that we have from Mr. Demelo Stars. He says, Gladys, the average Nigerian is greedy. I think you read that before. That's what I noticed. The vast Nigerians would tell an honest Nigerian not to talk too much, regardless of how hurt they are. They are on the verge of the worst. We are on the verge of the worst. Okay. George Omonakwe, giving loans and taking it out either way without creating jobs. Ogenetega Samuel Amori, we don't empower talent in Nigeria, and we see such talent as a threat, forgetting that using the talent judiciously through support and empowerment will help everyone in the long run, and which is true.
Yes, that's true. So there should be more empowerment for the youth, make loans accessible for them, so they'll be able to kickstart something for themselves. They would even be busy getting more people to work with them. Now we are, to some extent, for the past 4, 5, 6 days now, we now have constant electricity. At least that would be a good one for those artisans, those that make use of electricity so much. Now they are not really buying fuel anymore. So it should, now that's the good step in the right direction. If it continues like that till we touch all of that crucial part as well. When it comes to health, it's not just every time we should keep on bringing in drug from somewhere. Let's just make research. How does it work? I've told someone, I said this, when it comes to the health industry per se, see, it's just business. It's business. See, nobody will bring a drug now that will totally cure a particular ailment. They will not produce a drug that will cure it on a scale of 99%. No, they'll put it should be low, like 60%. So by the time you use it now, the ailment comes back again, you keep on buying the drugs, and the business keeps on booming. If they cure it at once, they won't get their money back. So I'm just like, if we do everything in the Nigerian way, the African way, there are some things that we'll be able to cure.
Look at this comment from Mr. Adegoayini. He said, education is the greatest investment any government can make.
Yes, education. When someone is into business, it is education. See, education, we tend to think education is just learnt in the four walls of a room. See, my dad didn't go to any university, but what he knows today, then see, one of my uncles used to call him a university of knowledge, a walking university of knowledge. He didn't go to any, but he has the experience, so many experience. This person, if you give this person a pen to write a whole book, he will write a book that would even be more interesting and more experienced, focused than most of these people who are in the four walls of a room.
See, sometimes if we just think that education is about
education
going to university,
is beyond that.
Polytechnic or going to a college of education, then we must be lying.
Yes, it's
because,
beyond
see,
that. It's beyond it.
Most of our fathers, they didn't go to any university, yet they employed a lot of people who worked under them.
I think education should be, if you want to call education, if you want to tag education according to schools, then we should say formal education. But when it comes to education, when you are perfect about your field, if you are in the engineering field, you don't need to go and read one textbook or something. Let's say, okay, those people who created that textbook, who taught them?
Who taught them? That's a big
They started from practical, they practicalized it, then they wrote down their knowledge.
The person who invented bulb,
which note did the person read? Let's start from there. So if we don't go back to the drawing board and start reinventing our own knowledge instead of downloading other people's knowledge, then we should prepare to we might move forward, but we won't really go far up to where we ought to be. Because back then, in those days, I used to hear that Nigeria was, Nigeria was more or less into agriculture. We're feeding ourselves then,
and we were okay.
We're okay, but now the more we read books, the lesser we start producing. So what are we producing? We are producing professors that can't even feed their own families. Is that what we want to produce? No.
There was a language I used before. I said, what we have today,
it's not even the African education, it's the Western education.
Most of the people we have today in the society are educated touts. Honestly, with all the big English, yet there's nothing to show for it. You don't know how to speak English. And then when you're done, you see people arguing like serious arguments. Do you know
yeah, good English.
You understand? But what do you have to show for it? You went to school, no qualms, but what do you have to show for it? Nothing, because our governments are not empowering these young people who actually spent this number of years in school. If there is empowerment, then we can start having a better conversation.
Just like saying education is the greatest investment. If we can say yes, education in general, because without education no country can move forward. And where does education come from? It comes from research. It is when you research about something, the result is what you get back into your brain. That is education. You've educated yourself. Okay, so this thing cannot work this way, this is how it works. That's education. But when it comes to formal education, so why do we have more professors? We have universities and they are going on strike. Why is it that they can't teach you how to make money? Because most of them are not even rich. Just take a look at it. They don't teach you, when you go to these schools, they don't teach you how to make money, how to manage money, how to do these things, because they are teaching what another person's knowledge, not what they find out.
Let me tell you something. Okay, I studied statistics in school. That's why I went to school to study. Look at what am I doing today?
This is another way of educating yourself.
Educating myself. Okay, as a statistics graduate, there was this question one of my classmates asked one of our lecturers once. He says, "Sir, all these things you are teaching us, where can we practice? How can we put this thing in real life? How can it be practicalized in real life?"
Yes.
This one did not answer.
The reality. You can never answer.
I will never forget that day. That time I sat down there. I had a long thought all to myself. Like, for real, this is true.
Yeah.
You're just busy quoting laws upon laws that does not have a practical experience. It's just something else. Education is very good, but then after you've gone to the 4 walls of higher institution, and acquired this formal education, what is the guarantee that you're going to get employed, or how do some will say you must not get employed, you have to like create a job for yourself or something, but then how
do you know why it is happening like that? Why we are having more students coming out of institutions and they are not getting employed? Because the kind of knowledge they are impacting into them, it is far from the reality. After graduating from school, you now start thinking, so all the theory they propagated to us and it gave us into our brain, now you've graduated, where would you put the theory? It's just there in your head. It's just now like you having 4.5 points is the capacity of your memory, ability for you to retain information and get to the exam, or just revitalize the information, put it down there, then you have your scores. So when it comes to the reality, you now see those who didn't really do well in school, they are not doing well in life because they are more inclined to the reality. So until we start making research, so the solution of those research would be impacted into our students, but we still keep on just the Western education, put it there. What's wrong with the African education?
One of the ways that that this thing that we do here, sometimes we're wasting our time, is when you see a Nigerian with first class go to a place like Canada and becomes a farmer. It happens. Working in their in the what they call it, because I see in something like that. Okay, you see a first class holder going to a place like, which other country will I mention now? And also become
one of these countries
a cleaner. Then that's where you get to know that most of the things that we do here is we are just fooling ourselves.
Exactly.
Honestly speaking, we need to empower our youth who are in the creative industry, who are in the tech industry, empower them so that on the long run they can actually employ other people. By so doing, we are elevating ourselves from poverty. Because without these things, without this loan and you want to give students loan with no assurance of job when they come out. You want to tell them to start to look for a business. They will still look for money, like borrow money to establish the business. You now come and collect your loan back from them. And if they don't, you now look. Seriously, we need to wake up as a country. I think that's the height I can say today.
Yeah, I just think we should focus, as we are talking about education. The quality of the education is more important than the affordability of the education, because if people can afford something that is not so worthy or not so valuable, on the long run it's just like you wasting. I won't use the word waste now. You spending 4 or 5 years in 4 walls of an institution, and you come out there and you realize that everything that is in your brain cannot be used in reality, or you can't put it directly into the reality. But majority majority of these guys who are in the, would I say, the technical aspect, when they come out, they are always useful. I know someone who studied mechanical engineering. My brother, I studied mechanical engineering in school, and is also practicalizing it. But now imagine someone like that, he would even be better than his peers, because he now has the theory and the the practical. And majority of what they are teaching them in the theory, they have never ever spoken about it in the reality, in the practical. Because most of these people, okay, let's say lecturers teaching mechanical engineering, some of them take their cars to mechanics. So how can you be teaching mechanical engineering and you can't even fix your car? So what are you teaching? You should be able to open, in fact, take your children, your students to your car, open the bonnet, tell them this is how you do this, maybe stuff and that, like that. So I think the quality of the education matters a lot. So we should work more on research. Our research institute, pump money there, give loans to students. It's a very beautiful initiative for those that are below the poverty line. But also, I wouldn't advise anyone to remove subsidy from the education of those that are above. So when some people are smiling, others will not be crying. So let's just make it like that. Let's just make it like that. That's just my own 2 cents about that. So moving on. Oh, Mr. Odizechima, I've tried calling. If you have tried calling before, please, you can call back. Try calling back. Thank you. Would appreciate you. We didn't see the call.
And please, for each of the call, we'll be giving just 3 minutes for you to air your opinion, so that other people too can call, because we just realized a lot of people are always trying to reach the phone line, but usually it's busy. So you just have 3 minutes to let us know what you think on the topic.
Yeah, a missed call from Mr. Odizechima and also Mr. Samson. You guys, please, you can call back. Let's have your contribution. So
I want to talk about this. It is time to move swiftly from business of governance.
Tinubu. Yes. I think right now the business of politics is, should be put behind, because yesterday we saw Godswill Akpabio imagine as, the Speaker of the National Assembly. Yeah. So now when it comes to politics, we should put them aside. Now everybody should, all hands should be on deck now to push Nigeria forward when it comes to all the sectors of the economy. Everyone should just be up and doing. This is not the time to, start playing some kind of hanky-panky games. Let's push Nigeria forward. Nigeria is still owing 77 trillion naira. We can do better, reduce this rate. 1.3 million people in multidimensional poverty. We can do better and just bring these people, above. Even not everyone, just reduce the number from 133 million to whatever we want to reduce it to. And also the insecurity, people are still being killed in Plateau State. Yesterday, over 21 people and a cleric leader was being killed. Day before yesterday too, I think about 12 people in Kaduna. So every day we just hear about these killings. We should be doing more on the security. And I think to do that, it's not really about buying instruments for our troops. That is very important. I'm not disputing that fact. But also we need intelligence. Okay, let's pick a call from Mr. Samson. Hello, Mr. Samson. Good morning. Hello. Hello, Mr. Samson. I can't hear him. Please, you can try call back. We can't hear what you're saying. You're not audible enough. Thank you. Yeah, so as I was saying, now it is business of governance, all sectors of economy, those people that are manning. Okay, let's call back. Hello. Good morning, Mr. Samson.
Good morning. Am I clear?
Yes, you're audible now. We can hear you.
Okay, please. Good morning.
Yeah.
Good morning, Mr. Samson. You have 3 minutes, please.
I tried to call you guys, but
Yes. We didn't see the call.
Whatever reactions people give to my comment.
Oh.
You guys necessarily did not pick my call.
Okay.
Anyway, first of all, my comment on the student loan.
Okay.
Where I that if you would collect the loan with an intention of not paying back, that you are being paid. I am not going to retract that. Because when it comes to loans, loans are meant to be optional, and loans are supposed to accelerate your growth.
Okay.
That's the truth. Loans are trying to accelerate your individual, business, financial, whatever it is, and that's to accelerate your growth.
Okay.
And you go into loan application with an agreement to pay back.
Of course.
Okay, so if you are requesting for a loan, it's quite different from a grant. Okay, like in the comment section.
Okay.
I am adequately.
Okay.
In the comment section, as for today's conversation, you guys are having it today. I said something about empowerment. Where I said we've had empower.
Yeah, the NISA and lights.
We've had the way and the light.
Yeah.
Alright? Now, for those that we've had, we understand that they have been poorly managed. But we have seen how even the indigents diverted those money. In the Nassau, which we all saw how poorly it was managed.
Okay.
Nassau's main purpose was to encourage, massive farming. So that we could be self-sufficient, so that we could feed ourselves. You get the point?
Yeah.
Some people collected money under Nassau. Some people collected 4 million, 5 million, which they were supposed to pay back in 7 years. Some people collected it. They went to use it to buy Uber. They went to use it to buy car and started doing Uber. You understand?
Yeah.
Now, this is our boat rate. This is what our boat rate. The government will give you a loan for a specific purpose, for a grant, whatever.
Yeah.
You would divert it. Whereby you are what? You are short. You are giving that government short money and giving the purpose of the grant.
Yeah.
Look at trader money. I don't know if you guys know about trader money. Trader money, which machine
I know about it.
motivated.
Yeah.
Trader money was given out to people to get denied that they collected that money. You get the point?
Yeah.
On my own skill, from my own skill,
Okay.
I've supervised student loan that we are giving students.
Okay.
Student loan is the perfect way to go.
Okay.
I understand it is not the purpose of the nation's priority. Because we know that the number one thing that this government must attend to is security. But on this one, this student loan,
Okay.
what they are doing is perfectly okay.
Okay.
Now, the student loan act.
All right, Mr. Sampson, you have about 30 seconds to go, please.
So I'll be calling, I'll just talk for 3 minutes.
Yeah, just 4 minutes. We gave you 1 minute extra. Other people are trying to call in.
Okay.
Hello.
Okay, that was Mr. Sampson. Please, Mr. Odezechima, we missed your call earlier. Please, you can try calling in. If you are trying to call in to air your opinion, please, the phone lines are available, and you have only 3 minutes to air your opinion, so other people too can get to contribute to the program this morning.
Yeah, so actually, I agree with what Mr. Niyadegun has said there about some people, collecting loans with intention, with a particular intention. That after you collecting the loan, you change your intention. I think it boils down to the organization of those that are in charge of those loans. You can't come to me now, you tender your application for loan, I have to see the evidence that you've been running the company before. Then that means if that kind of thing occurs, then it means there has been connivance between those managing the loan organization, or what's it called, the authorities, and the person that has defaulted or changed his plan. So there has been a kind of connivance in one way or the other. Because if there is no connivance, you come with your document. All right, I have a printing company now, I've been running for 10 years, I want to collect a loan of 5 million or 10 million naira. Then after the loan, you now go and buy a car and be doing Uber. No, it's not possible. It is not just possible that way. So I think it should be very, very strict. You would come with your proof. Okay, they can even say, okay, you should have been running the business for the past 5 years. Maybe you should start from that way. Okay, you can start, okay, you've been running this business for the past 5 years or 4 years or something. Let's say the business is moving already. You can't leave your business and start running Uber. It's not possible. Your business won't move forward again because you have a diverted attention, unless you have someone else riding the Uber. But the whole thing is just like, it's like you've deceived the government. And I want to believe that there has to be a connivance somewhere along the line for you to be able to default or change your plans. If it is not been included in the deal, you can't change your plans. Let's say I ask for a loan now of 10 million naira, and I'm into a mechanical, let's say I'm dealing with spare parts. I collect this loan and I go into farming. No, that should be questioned. That should be queried. Or even if you'll be able to put that into the law, you can say if you change your plans, then the interest at which you will return this money would be higher. So you know that for every plans you've changed, then you're paying extra when you want to pay back this loan. So there should be, what would I call it? There should be measures to ensure you don't just leave the people freely. When you give someone money on a platter of gold, 10 million, 5 million, a normal, an average Nigerian out there, you give this person loan of 10 million without
I want to ask, should that really be the case? Hence, there is a return.
I think it should be the case, because once this person, okay, let's say those people giving out the intention, the government, with the intention of, if we give you the money now, you expand your company, you employ more people. But if they diverted it to Uber, how do you want to keep your promise of employing more people to that business? Okay. So you are not giving you your money, you just want to use it selfishly to only promote your own self, push yourself forward without giving back to the society by employing more people. No, that's a no-no for me. So I think that's where we can actually hold people accountable.
See, I don't know, but if someone takes a loan that he or she wants to use the loan to promote
his
or
business,
to expand his business, and the person is let's say the person sells electrical appliances, and that's what you took the loan for, and on the long run you go into poultry,
okay.
But hence the person is returning probably like the
within the time frame.
Yes, should that be a problem? I don't think it should be a problem. Hence you're returning what you use the money for. I don't see it to be a problem. Hence you're returning back to the government, or even if you're doing Uber with the money, but hence you're returning, you're doing the repayment the way it's supposed to. I don't really think there should be any question in there. There's an interesting comment on the comment section. Someone says school loan is not a priority right in Nigeria. we don't have the right structure for them, because people would scam the system. Egbon, is that correct?
Yeah. But
how can a person
without work
pay back loan? Even some people in America are still struggling to pay back their school loans.
I like a particular statement he made there. People would scam the government, scam the system. This is why we keep on saying this thing. There are some people who are looking at us as if, we're, you're talking against the government. It's like you're not being appreciative. But we are looking for ways by which the people won't scam the government. We are owing a lot of money already. So why should we be giving money outside and let the people run away with it? Let's say we have about 1 million people that defaulted. Now, he said something about having intention. You can have intention that you would pay back this money.
And then one thing happens and you don't pay back.
There's nobody who borrows with the intention of not paying back now.
You understand? So nobody goes borrowing and say, I'm not, you see this money, I'm not going to pay back.
No.
Then the person will probably be a thief or a criminal.
Yes, exactly.
But then we should have a working system, an existing working system that should at least, like I said before, I will still maintain, like I said something like, this loan, I will still prefer that you create more job for this young graduate who manages to finish school, like scratch themselves. Their families suffer, they go through everything to pay school fees, and then they come out. The reward should be that they get employed. That should be the reward. The 7 years suffering, the 5 years, the 4 years of scratching your teeth on the ground should be that you get employed. You understand? See, there's this joy that a graduate finishes school and gets employed.
And starts working immediately.
And starts working. My dad used to say something that in those days, hence you went to school. As you're coming out, there is an instant employment waiting for you, and there is a car waiting for you. That's to tell you, well done.
Then
As in you've done well for going to school. Because not a lot of people actually had interest in this education something, because they felt that the white men were scamming them. Just leave us to what we know how to do best. Let's do our fishing. Let's do our farm work. And then you go to school, they are telling you thank you because you're bringing more light to the society. Because those ones doing those things, according to them that time, they don't really know too much. They only know what happens where they are. They can't go there and defend the way it is. But then you go to school, they should be okay. This is an employment waiting for you, and not the loan. Because if you give someone loan and the person does not have what it takes to pay back, what then happens? You now say they did not do what they are supposed to do. They've scammed the system. But you started it. I don't know if
in fact, you won't even be able to arrest the person, because if someone is owing you now and you decide to arrest that person, the person won't come out and your money won't come out. So it's just better to just leave the person. So now, to create this employment, now we're not talking about the government actually creating it, but they should partner with more of private bodies,
institutions.
Private institutions. Let's have more. We have one refinery by Dangote already. If we can have the same, we can have more. There's no crime in it. If we can have more, right now they are passed the law.
Even if, let's say we have a Dangote refinery, let's say we have a Gladys refinery, and we have an Olamide refinery, definitely I will have people that will work with me in that refinery. No matter how much they want to employ their own people, they'll definitely, directly or indirectly, employ somebody who will employ someone that will affect me.
Yes.
So if we have more, like, empower these people who has this idea, you understand, it will help a lot. One refinery, in fact, let's even make our own refineries work, because if we make it work as well, we also people will get employed.
Okay, Mr. Samson is calling back. Hello. Hello, yeah, you're welcome back, Mr. Samson.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like I was saying.
Okay.
I think the government are doing something nice with the student loan.
Okay.
And I would like to support what Gladys is saying. That the government needs to provide an environment, an enabling environment. Okay. So I understand government. We will ask government to create jobs, but government can create millions of jobs. What we can do is empower entrepreneurs.
Exactly. Hello. Okay.
Hello, are you with me?
Yeah, we are with you.
Okay. Like giving them tax free.
Yeah.
These are the things that the incumbent president said during his campaign. He said, if you guarantee that you can employ 500 people, will give you a tax free for a period of time. Right? So the point is this: we are about to go into an economy that most of everything will become formalized.
Yeah.
Most people that need tax relief, I mean, they need to what? They need to be enrolled on the taxpayer. You get the point?
Yeah.
There are so many businesses out there that need grants. Are they paying tax? Can I listen to you guys? You said that there are some people in the industry that they prefer to go to school. I mean, they prefer to go learn apprenticeship instead of going to a school. Most of these people, you find that most of them, they don't belong to the tax system. Okay? Now, if they need loan, they need to apply to that system whereby they need to enroll for their CIN.
Okay.
They need to start paying taxes. Then after a period of time, you don't register today, you don't register your business today. Okay? You are not paying tax, you are not paying tax for a period of time, and then you start requesting for a business loan to expand your business.
Okay.
They will ask you, your business has not even been tested.
Yeah.
You don't even know if your business is even visible or viable. You get the point? So, the first is, Nigeria as an economy, we have so many uncaptured businesses. Everybody is doing businesses and they are not paying tax. Yet, we can open our mouth and request for loans.
Okay.
The point is, you must be paying loans. I mean, you must be paying taxes. If I go back to the student loan, you see that student loan?
Okay.
It will get to a point that the parents, you know, it is for they say that student loan is to target who are below the poverty line. It will get to a time that the guarantors, right?
Yeah.
The guarantors must pay taxes.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, the Bible requires that the parents, as long as you are earning 30,000 and 50,000, you should be paying the minimum of tax. They will start asking for it. This is what they are doing in Lagos State.
Yeah.
You know, in Lagos State, why is for free?
Yeah.
Lagos State secondary school is for free. But when you want to write your why, they'll tell you go and bring your tax one. Your tax
clearance.
Tax receipt. Your tax clearance that the parents are paying. So the truth is, when we are ready for advancement, we also as a citizen, we must be ready for a change of attitude. We must begin to see that we must pay tax for us to enjoy the benefits. Everybody can argue that Nigerian system is not benefit, but that is the fact. But we keep deliberating, these people are rich, then we will never be ready to move forward.
Okay.
That is not the truth. Whether formal or informal education, the point is, for as long as you are earning money, you have the obligation to pay your taxes.
Okay.
Whether you be carpenter, whether you be welder, whether you be painter, whatever you are, whether you are a teacher, whether you are a professor, pay your tax. When you start paying your tax, then we can start demanding for what? For the grant and for the loan. Then lastly, I believe that with the electricity bill, I mean, you guys are not talking about the electricity bill that have been signed into act.
Yes, we know about it.
Light, so when there is light, let me tell you something, when there is light, doing research, doing so many things, hospitals will spend less on powering their environment. Yeah. You know, supermarkets will spend less. Even everybody as a barber, you spend less to power your shop. Let me tell you something, the economy will grow. That's just the truth. So let us just hope and let us be optimistic that in the next 1 year, things will improve drastically.
Sure.
And let us keep hoping. I don't like the fact that we're always on the negative side, that we're always like looking for the loopholes all the time. That is my own objection here. I like us to always talk about the positive side as well.
Yeah.
Thank you. Good morning.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I think with that, so we've come to the end of the program.
Yes.
This morning, I want to say a big thank you to everyone who took part. Via the comment section, and of course those that called in. Just to round off, we looked at the following
we looked at the varsity fees being introduced back into the tuition fees being introduced back into the varsities. And also Tinubu pledges more resources to education. It is time to move swiftly with business of governance. That's President Tinubu. As INEC failures, violence, voters fraud, suppression, MAD 2023 polls. And also deploy measures to address difficulties, NBA tells Tinubu amid subsidy removal. So with that, we come to the end of the program today. Thank you all, Taiwo Fi, Renato Media, Flabe, Adini Igua, Mr. Samson. Thank you, Mr. Damian Osas, Who else? Sharon. Abosedi, Emma Samuel, George Monakwe, Ogenetega,
Nigeria
Nigeria future. We hope the future of Nigeria,
thank you.
Egbo Baltimore. Thank you all for joining us. Today we'll be back with another program, Girls Closet, in a few hours. But before then, we'll say a very big thank you to all once again. Bye for now. So we'll come your way again tomorrow morning for another edition of this program, Lagos this morning.
And of course, we're not forgetting the man behind the camera, Siva Mili. Thank you so much. Until we see you next time, bye for now. I am Gladys Aloze.
Andre Nereko, Estambaseko.